Let me start by saying that the average success rate in the industry hovers around 15%. So if you are running, and this is a bit scary, if you are running 20 tests, most CRO programs will generate 17 failures and 3 successes if you ran 20. So there's this disconnect in experimentation teams and conversion optimization teams and what they think versus what management thinks about. Think about any corporation. And then I say corporation, but ultimately the goal of a corporation is to make its owners, its stockholders more money. That's what management is interested in. There's other goals, but really what it comes down to, if you boil it down to, you want to make more money. If I run 20 experiments and most of them fail, whether I've been brought on as a consultant, as a CRO agency, or I'm actually somebody who's working for that company trying to improve the website conversion rates, and I do all the testing and then it's not successful. I think there are several things that you want to think about. First off, I'll start by a simple question. What was the original conversion rate? What are you trying to improve upon? I want to ask this question because really where you're starting, your starting point can impact your success and failure. Trying to optimize a website that has a conversion rate of, let's say, 0.2 or 0.3% is a completely different experience than trying to optimize a website that has a 28% conversion rate at a 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, sometimes even 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%. That's what I consider the lower area of conversion rates, and usually there is good opportunity to deliver results. The minute you start crossing that 4, 5, 6%, you start seeing that it's a lot harder to produce results. I recall in one instance, one of our oldest clients, and then they still come back to us again and again. They will do projects with us for a year, and then they will go for about 6 to 9 months, and then they'll come back again. But in one instance, they came to us and they said, hey, last year we ran 150 some experiments and all of them failed. We need you to come and take a look at this. And that's a bit scary, correct? When you run 150 experiments. I mean, if you're just flipping a coin, eventually, tails or heads, it's a 50-50. That should be the theory. Forget about even a 10 or 12% success rate, even a 5% success rate. Should have given you about 10 successful experiments. They had all failures. And they were wondering. I brought them on board. I told them, yes, we can help you. I still recall this. I call Ayat and I tell her, hey, by the way, so-and-so, they're back. This is exciting. She's excited. I'm like, yeah, small detail. 150 experiments last year. They all failed. And she's like, what? What do you expect us to do? And we knew it was going to be a challenge. And I still recall that the first 3 months of optimization with them, we did not produce any results. We were also failing. We're doing 4 or 5 experiments a month, sometimes 6 experiments a month, and we're not producing results. But they know us. They've known us, for at that point in time, 7, 8 years. So they were patient. They understand the importance of conversion optimization. By the 4th month, we were able to just knock it out of the ballpark. So we produced results for them. So first, ask, what is your starting conversion rate? Second, let's ask, what's going on here? That's the question that you need to ask yourself before you even start thinking about management. I always tell people, in order for you to succeed, you need to do 2 things. One is you need to do really good research, and then you need to do high velocity testing. This is the formula, as simple as that. You don't do good research and you're doing a ton of testing, you're wasting your time. You're doing a lot of research, but you're doing 1 experiment per month, 2 experiments per month. It's going to be a painfully slow process. So let's pinpoint why most of our experiments are failing. Is it because we're not doing enough research? Is it the way we're implementing the hypothesis is not correct? Because when you do 20 experiments, really, a good number of them should succeed. To us internally, we'll say about 30% success rate. And we have some companies that we work with, especially if we know those companies for a long time and we've worked with them for a while and we understand their customers, we hit a success rate of anywhere between 40 to 50%. Every other experiment is successful. So that's the next question that you want to ask. Another question that you want to ask, okay, so even with those failures that I have, am I learning? Because again, that's one of the goals. It's important that you are learning. And sometimes you're learning about your customers. Sometimes you're learning about how you run a program, correct? I'll give you an example from something that we've done. I think of CRO not only about the A/B testing on the website, but I think of CRO conversion rate optimization is the experimentation mindset that I need to bring to every campaign. We try to reach out to some companies to do an influencer campaign with. It failed. What we've learned didn't mean that this method is bad, correct? It's just our approach to it was not correct. So that's the question that you want to ask yourself. Am I learning? After that, you want to ask yourself like, well, I've tried. Do I need a pair of fresh eyes to come take a look? And that doesn't mean always, by the way, hiring an external consultant. Sometimes it's just, having a conversation with other CROs who are working at other companies. Sometimes it's just kind of inviting somebody. Sometimes about doing some actual live user testing to validate some of your testing. I think when you answer all those questions, you have a case that you can come and sit with management and tell them, here's what's going on. Here's my analysis of the situation. Here are the steps that I'm going to take to fix it. And I think if management is sold on the idea and inherently understand the value of experimentation and how it can revolutionize and change how the organization works, management will buy that in. But if you just come in and say, well, our success rate was this, but we will continue and we've learned so much about our customers. And it's like, well, okay, so are we going to have 20 or 30 more experiments that are, failures and no successes? That's difficult to sell.